I don't think I've said no to a lot of things, but I want like the option to. You know what I mean? I still want the invite.
You just want the invite. I want to be a like me.
Okay, guys, because guess what? I wasn't invited to Colin's birthday.
Well, Here we go. Here we go. And this is where we start.
Okay. Very nice. Well, hi everyone. I'm Hannah. We are back for another episode of BULGOGI Pod with my friend Colin.
Hello.
Hey. What's up?
Not much. What's up with you? Fresh off a trip to the motherland.
Yes. Just came back from Korea. Also visited Singapore. But that was all after Coachella, which... was such a blast.
It was a blast.
We went to Coachella together, if you can't already tell.
Yeah, so since Coachella, what was the last music festival that we went to?
Oh my gosh, we went to Camp Flog-Gnaw 2019.
This is where we met. And my first impression of Hannah was her at the end of the entire festival running up to the stage. And after that set, when Frank Ocean inevitably did not come on and Drake was booed off stage, tears and gallons of tears coming down, streaming down your face.
Dude.
And I've never respected fandom so deep. I've never respected such deep love for someone who won't give back to his fans anymore.
Right? He hates us.
He hates us.
I love him. He's like, I hate you.
Great artist.
Yeah. I'm honestly a little upset.
It's fine.
Like over the last 4 years, it's just so unrequited. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Coachella to potentially see him. That didn't happen.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 of disappointment. I think this is the third time like a musician is disappointed me.
Okay, wait, what were the other
Okay, so
two?
The first time was Flog, right? And it's like, I'm not disappointed that Drake went. In fact, I was like elated. But like the fact that the show ended early, I was like, damn. The second time was like 6 months ago when The Weeknd came to town.
Okay.
And he lost his voice like third song in at Crypto.
The Crypto.com Arena.
The Crypt.
Oh, got it.
I'm going to make that name stick.
Okay.
The Crypt.
Okay, I'm still calling it Staples Center, but
and then now this, but I think ultimately the TBA was worth.
Oh, TBA made it so worth. It was so fun.
It was absolutely bonkers.
One of the best sets of my life.
I think like when people describe like a party with like 100,000 of your closest, I thought that was accurate, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you see all the like little stories like beforehand of like them going to the stage.
Yeah, it was so cute. Like Fortet is so cute.
Cute.
Yeah. And so, Coachella was a blast. It definitely took a little bit to recover from that because I was dead. I was not a human for like a week. And then I was just like, okay, bye. I'm going to leave the country now. So I haven't really seen you since.
No, except yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Except yesterday we were just studying, but no, we've been laying low.
Right.
Laying low.
But I feel like, it's one of those friendships where it's like we're kind of like so similar on the same page, that like
that
when we come on. Oh my gosh.
No, it's true. It's like, okay, I think like oftentimes like the best friendships are the ones that require very low maintenance, and you come back and it's like, it's like, oh, I saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
To which this case I did, but in any other case,
right. It would have been.
I saw you yesterday.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I think like how we became friends is like kind of unique because, okay, this is how I think about it in my head, and so please, I want to hear your side as well. But literally, we went to Camp Flog-Gnaw. I didn't see you for like
5 years.
Yeah, for that many years.
Yeah,
and like. It was super random. It was like in the coffee shop that we were at yesterday. And then you were like, oh, do you have this app Dimensional? And I was like, I actually do. I haven't taken any of the tests. And so I took all the tests.
First, explain to the people what Dimensional is.
Oh, okay. Dimensional is basically like MBTI, X Enneagram, like X attachment style on steroids. Yeah. Personality test. But I found that a lot of my friends who like download Dimensional and like they're really into MBTI, so they're excited for this. They're like, oh, this is the most accurate like test out there. And it's a series of tests. It took like 2 hours.
Oh, a lot of toilet time.
Yes,
a lot of toilet time. It was literally like me first time taking it, like me sitting on the toilet for maybe 20 minutes and just finishing them all at once.
Oh yeah.
And then going back to my bed and then just
finishing all of them. Yeah, exactly.
It's the same way you binge shows.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Go on then.
Anyways, and so yeah, it's a bunch of personality tests, and then we found that me and Colin are similar in like was it 98?
Yeah, I think it was like 98 out of 100, which is
100 traits. And so out of all of my friends, literally I was like, oh shit, I think we're the same. And then after that, I feel like it was like kind of with like knowledge that we are similar. I was like, oh, I see it play out in our interactions, in our future hangouts. And so it's almost like the test brought us closer together.
Yeah.
Yes?
It's like confirmation bias. It's like, it's like we were meant to be friends.
Yeah. But yeah, we are very similar, and especially in our extrovertedness.
I would say so.
Yeah. And so how would you describe your extrovertedness, aka our extrovertedness?
Our extrovertedness. I think like, so from the root, right? If we're planting this tree of extroversion, I think the roots of it starts from like a curiosity of people. Like just a genuine curiosity of people.
Yeah.
And then just by that, you kind of get people to like, I think you're very good at getting people to open up about themselves.
Right. I will weaponize my vulnerability.
You'll weaponize your vulnerability. I actually also do that. That's really funny. I'll just go around like, here's this little traumatic story that's kind of happened. It's like, oh, me too.
It's like, I guess I have to open up now.
It's like, oh, but like, I think like, wow, now this is like really like people are going to see me as like master manipulator. No, I think like it starts with a root of like being like really curious about people, and like because of that, like you just get to know people better.
Yeah.
And it also like positively feeds back on like, I think your people skills, and like because you are curious, and that makes you go out and like just talk to people, and that gives you like a wider experience. Like all of that kind of just builds upon itself into sort of the network of people that you have now, and also like the sort of experiences that you allow yourself to have. In like terms of like the breadth and the diversity, you know?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think something that you said that has like really stuck with me is that like, I think I was like talking to you about how like unstable my life is and how like everything's always going up and down, up and down. And then you told me, you're like, oh, but I found that like, it's because you let like different factors and like life experiences into your life that like it makes it so that you have instability, versus if you are too comfortable and like don't kind of like venture out and experience new things, like of course your life is going to be like this.
I'm going to replace a word for you.
Okay, please.
I'm going to replace a word for you. Instead of instability.
I'm unstable.
Yeah, no, instead of instability, which makes me feel a little wonky, you know, I like entropy.
Okay.
Entropy. We're going back to 9th grade physics.
Okay, got it.
Point of stability to non-stability. Except in this case, it's like more of an invitation for the plot to expand.
Oh, yes.
It's Big Bang Theory, but for your life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's just like kind of, it makes me feel better. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I think because I am open to new experiences and like I want to learn about other people, like of course it's inviting in.
What was the last thing you did like that you otherwise would have said no to? Ooh. Like I feel like this is something like for you especially, like you were saying like last year has been like almost like a year of yes.
Yeah, it very much has been.
So like what does that look like for you?
Okay, so when I say it was like kind of my year of yes, I was just going out like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yes.
And I think the excuse had always been, oh, it's a chance for me to like potentially network. Oh. And so, you know, I used to think that networking was like this big scary term. I was like, what the heck is networking? Like all of college, I was like, I don't understand networking. It feels so unnatural. It feels so forced. Like, what do I talk to these people about? Because, right, most of the time it is in a more professional setting.
Sure.
But then, like, I think taking away all the scary parts of networking, I was like, oh, it's literally like making friends, making acquaintances.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, maybe another Instagram follower too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know, another LinkedIn connection for you right there.
Exactly. And so it became way less scary. And so, yeah, I was going out like 3 to 4 times a week. I was going on dates.
There you go.
What else? Just like general, like trying new hobbies. So like that's when I got into jiu-jitsu.
Ooh.
When I did my improv class.
I'm hiring you for security. Just straight up, anywhere I go. Yeah, she knows jiu-jitsu. Protected.
We are not. I am not at that level. That has
rainbow belt jiu-jitsu.
That has since a white belt jiu-jitsu.
Right. My bad.
But I have 3 stripes. So
3 stripes. Okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, I think it was just like a lot of exploring and kind of getting a better sense of like how I like to spend my time and like what I am allowing to take up space. For example, I think I was dating a lot last year, and since I have taken a break, like a big long break, and it has been so refreshing. And so I think without all of the yeses, all of the going on dates, I wouldn't have like anything to compare my current dating life to.
I see. So you've always been on, and now you're just like, oh, like now I can take some time, reflect on what that time.
Yeah, because I know I'm not missing out.
Oh, so now you don't get FOMO. So that's another, I think that segues into another like question is like, you're constantly surrounding yourself with people by virtue of like, you're an extrovert.
Right.
I would say that's the case for me. Like I very seldomly like don't spend time with people, which, you know, in this case, like kind of teeters on the spectrum of like, oh, this is a problem.
Right.
You know, it's like, it's a strength.
Yes.
Up until the point where it's like, oh, this is like maybe a problem.
No, I'm literally toxically extroverted.
Yeah.
Right. Like to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't spend time with myself.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And so like my question for that is, do you still feel like you are at a point where you are able to not feel FOMO?
I still feel FOMO.
And what do you do about it?
You
just go. You're just like, I'm going.
Well, okay. So the thing is, I don't think I've said no to a lot of things, but I want like the option to. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I still want the invite.
You just want the invite. You're like, oh, I want to be a like me.
Okay, guys, because guess what? I wasn't invited to Colin's birthday.
I didn't know you were. I thought you were still in Korea. To be honest with you, it was like a last minute thing. Wow, I'm getting attacked.
Okay,
here
literally, I was like, oh my god. So someone goes, oh, did you? Oh yeah, like Colin went out, and I was like, what? I was like, he told me he wasn't going out for his birthday.
I wasn't. I really wasn't. It was a last minute decision, and this is an inability of me to say no because everyone was like, Colin, you're old. You're going out tonight, and I was like, oh,
and okay. Guess where he went? Everyone, he went to General Lee's.
I actually like. I'm still new to the LA.
Who put you on?
I think you put me on. You definitely put me on in General Lee's. You've actually put me on to like a lot of the local LA spots. So I just want to say A1. Thank you very much.
But anyways, besides that, I don't think I've experienced FOMO recently.
Thank you. I'll be sure like on the top of all of my agendas to make sure that you're invited.
Duh. Yeah. Duh. Oh, okay. I literally texted you a month prior being like, should I block it out? Like, should I block out a day for you? But
really kind.
You're forgiven because, you know, I was trying to be in my low-key era and be like, oh, is she in Korea? Is she not in Korea? You know what I mean? So I wasn't very explicit in my whereabouts.
You were implicitly murky about what you were posting on your story. Sometimes I look at your story and it shows that you're somewhere else. Like it shows like, oh, I'm at home with my dog when you're sitting right across from me at a coffee stop.
Right. Because I don't want people following me.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
The life of an influencer, dog. Come on.
Yeah. People stopping you on the street right now. Hannah.
Yes, exactly. And so with the FOMO thing, I feel like everything that I want to be invited to, I will get invited to.
My bad.
You know what I mean? Or
just constantly.
To be quite honest, I will just invite myself. Like
I think you should.
Right? Like if I find out about something and I want to go, I'll just be like, oh, can I come?
Yeah. Well, like more times than not, people will be like, yeah, why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what does it hurt? Because I don't know. I think it's very uncomfortable for other people to say no as well. Right. And so there's no, like, what are the odds that you are actually going to be brave and tell me no?
But I think there's like a certain amount of like nunchi or like social acumen that has to play into that. Right. Because it's like, oh, you don't want to force yourself into something like, oh, that was like very much so within
like a close friend.
Yeah.
Wait, I've done that though.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, and now you're just a part of that friend. You're just like, you force bubble your way into this bigger bubble.
Right. But like, it was very uncomfortable. And so I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore.
Okay.
Or maybe I should have a little bit more nunchi.
You asked me a question the other day.
Yes.
This is a question of like, are you the floater friend?
Wait, yeah, I was gonna ask that. Are you the floater friend?
I think yeah, I definitely am the floater friend. I think like I've never been like held down to like a particular like group of friends, whether it's like 3 friends or like 10, like a group of 10 or something. Just because it's like, I think that in the same way of like, you want to welcome new experiences, like you want to welcome like a diverse swath of people into your life.
Okay.
And by virtue of doing that, like you are included in like different bubbles or different circles.
Right.
And so friends are sort of to me like concentric rings or like tiers of like, oh, who do I hang out with the most, or like who am I closest to, or like who do I share like the most intimate details of my life, like, and how far are you from the radius of that circle? But ultimately it's like, I don't have like a particular group that like fills that inner ring. Like I just have different people that fill that inner ring.
Do you ever feel like because you don't have like maybe that very, very like tight knit group of people that you do share like a lot of intimate details with, there's ever like an emptiness? No, I think like in fact it's like quite the opposite. I think it's actually like very fulfilling because I have so many people that I can go to talk to, rather than like limit myself to the perspective of like a person or like a group of people. Like I have like all of these different people, like, and that's me being like, this is not saying like, oh, look at me, I have all these friends. This is Colin has so many friends.
This is more of me just saying, I think I have the privilege to have like this many people to go to. And so it's like, rather than think of it as like, rather than thinking of me as a floater with like nothing to attach to, I in fact think that I have the ultimate freedom of having like so many people to attach myself to. And it's ultimately like a very like fulfilling experience because like everyone's perspective I think is like very unique and has like a lot to offer. Yes. And so therefore that helps my perspective and like fill my, I don't know, just fill my different cups, you know? Yeah, no, I completely agree. I find that like I have different friends with different strengths, and so I'm able to tap in to those strengths. I like that. So I'm very, I would say like well-rounded in that sense because I'm able to like have different perspectives. But wait, follow-up question. Do you think that like the friends that you have from the different circles, do you think that they're all similar in some ways, a few ways, in one way? This is a good question. I think like in terms of like the revolving door of people that come into your life, there are like specific like principles that you want that are similar for like, there are certain traits that you look out for you to kind of grab people and be like, you know, be my friend. Right. Be my friend. Right. And I think like those like standard principles are like, oh, like, is this person like trusting? Is this person like sort of, like selfless? Like for me, it's like, oh, if I see that you're like selfless, like inherently, like I find that to be like a factor that is like a main pillar to like being a good friend. Yeah. And so it's like, because you get to interface with so many people, it's like, okay, like you meet this like very like practical bar, selfless, loyal, like whatever. And then after that, it's like everyone can be as unique as they like. And so therefore it's like, I feel like all of my groups are a little different. My med school group is very different from my college group. My college group is very different from like the friends I've like, I don't want to say like collected because like friends aren't like no, but you've definitely collected friends. No, but it's like every stage of your life, it's like you have like an X amount that go with you to the next stage as well. And that like, you know, some like you'll inevitably like reconnect with and stuff like that. So I think like principally like all of them are at baseline very much so the same in that they hold like a certain core value of mine or they share a certain core value of mine. Yeah. And then everything else is like, no, like be free you, game. Like be you, be unique. Photographer friend, you know? Right. Like I like introverted friends, like we have like, I think I have like a lot of introverted friends, or like friends that don't like to go out, but like we get along on so many other like facets too.
Right.
Yeah.
And so just finding those facets in which you guys get along.
Yeah.
Makes
and
sense.
like I think like the only thing is like, you know, don't be a bad person, you know? And
Got
it's
it.
like, oh, then like everything else, like I'm interested in knowing who you are.
Cause I think for me, like I've always heard from my friends that like, oh, like the friends that you have, Hannah, are very different from each other.
For sure.
And so I personally, over the years, I've gotten better at this, but like I used to find it so stressful
To merge
the groups.
Yeah.
And so do you, like, as the floater friend, as the toxically extroverted friend, have you found that it's hard to merge groups?
No, because I don't care.
Okay.
like at this point, it's like, oh, like if people are here for, like, for example, I'll give my birthday as an example. Like this wasn't like
I'm kidding.
this wasn't the
Don't
case.
worry.
Okay, wait. I don't know how to, but if it was like something like my birthday, it's like, oh, whoever like wants to come is allowed to come, because like, oh, like the main connection is like, oh, I am the thing. If people like want to get to know each other, I think it's just easy to introduce to each other. And if they don't want to like know, like that's totally their prerogative. You know, I'm not here. I think people trust you enough to like make good friends in like any space, and so therefore it's like, oh, if you say that they're cool or they're chill, then I believe you. They might not just be wanting to vibe this night, or like they might not feel like especially like extroverted. People know that like you have friends of all types, and like you know, it's not, I don't see like why you would have to shoulder the responsibility into making sure that everyone has a good time.
Yes, which is, that was the main thing.
Are we combining extroversion with people pleaser? Because we can play that game too.
100%. I'm like, if you're not having a good time, I'm not having a good time. Which is why, actually, Camp Flognaw that year, I was a wreck.
I could not tell, by the way.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
All the pictures were like, you were just
so happy.
cheeky,
yeah, exactly.
big grin.
I mean, because I was happy, but was I present? Maybe not.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Would've
like
never told.
a lot of the lack of presence at that festival in particular was just like, I'm stressed out by the interactions between all of the different friend groups.
Sure.
You know? And so since then,
sorry to interrupt. Are your friends like very nuclear or like to themselves?
You know?
Like in their groups?
I think so. I think I am the least nuclear.
Oh, interesting.
Because, you know, in being the floater friend, I think that a lot of the reason why I am the floater friend is because I don't want like other people to feel left out. Like, let's say I'm at somebody else's birthday party and they bring two different sets of friends together, college friends, high school friends. A lot of times there isn't overlap, right? Like the high school friends will stick to the high school friends, college friends will stick to college friends.
I agree.
But I personally dislike that. And so I will go out of my way to try to be the bridge. And like a lot of times I've found that I'm the only person from my high school group to try to get to know the college group, you know? And I think it's just a factor of like, because this is how I feel.
So you feel responsible for even other people's like group dynamics.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's really funny.
Like I always walk into a room and I'm like, what is the vibe?
I think this is like something that like me and you like have both talked about in terms of like even dating itself is like, oh, it's nice to date someone who like you are able to drop them in any social situation and they can just maneuver in their own way and you're just like, cool, it's just easy, you know? Like you can, and I'm not saying like you can go ahead and introduce them, but like they're able to hold conversation and like meet are willing to meet like your friends in different circles too,
exactly, you know?
So
which is why I think like, yes, I have introverted friends and like people who need to recharge and whatnot. I also need to recharge sometimes. But I think that one of the things that I would like in a future partner is for them to have at least enough extroversion to be able to like converse with my different types of friends, my different groups of friends.
For sure. I have a question for you.
Yes.
All right. Growing up, this is a podcast about growing up Asian too, and navigating as an Asian American in this world. Yes. All right.
Absolutely.
How do you think your like extroversion in itself is interconnected with like the culture that you grew up with, and whether like there is a harmony or disharmony, or like even a resistance towards the culture and like breaking out as an extrovert. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Because, right, stereotypically, I think in an Asian American household, I think people are told, oh, and maybe I'm equating extroversion with like speaking your mind. Like, I think in an Asian household, you're kind of told to like keep things to yourself, like don't talk back. Like if you are maybe stating your opinion, it can be seen as like rude or like disobeying your parents. But I think in my household, like my parents are like pretty acclimated to like the American culture of like you need to speak your mind, like you are independent and like your voice is important. And so I think oftentimes like I do speak my mind and I like do speak up, and that includes talking back to my parents.
Ooh.
But then that's when they pull the
rug. They're like, no,
they're like,
quiet.
wait,
Quiet.
elder, respect, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just, it teeters, it's whatever the mood is, whatever the vibe is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, your parents are Nunchi vibers.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And so I think for me, it was always a little bit confusing because I'm like, the rules are random.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
And so I think in my like later years, I've realized that I am more extroverted than introverted. I like used to think I was like a little bit more introverted. Maybe I was just sad, but anyways, but I've like kind of, because interacting with people is something that brings me energy, I make sure to make time for that. You know, I've kind of embraced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I think like growing up, like I was also like so I grew up in like a really like Asian, like Bay Area town where it was like
Bay Area.
Yeah. No, I can't do that here. Bay Area.
You're not going to break into a sneeze right now?
Yeah, I might start sneezing if you're not careful. We might talk about E40 for the next 20 minutes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, or your President Pilo.
Yeah, my President Pilo.
Yeah.
Growing up, I think like in an environment of Asian people, like you kind of culturally confused, like you're quiet, but then you go to school and sometimes like it's easy to get bullied when you're quiet. I think I was one of those kids that was like, I kind of just want people to like me. I hate it when people kind of like shit on me, you know?
Right.
And so like, what's the easiest way to do that is to like amass friends. And then like you would just start like finding little ways to like making friends, you know, starting from, I don't know, like for me it was like 4th grade, and I was like, oh, you know, I was like a little nerd, you know, I was like a little quiet nerd. And even before that, I was even worse. I was a snitch in like the 2nd or 3rd grade.
You were a snitch?
I was the worst.
Oh my gosh.
I was the worst.
Okay.
I was universally hated for good reason.
Right.
But then I was like, maybe I don't want to be hated, you know, maybe I kind of want people to like me.
Right.
And so I think I started like trying to develop these relationships with people. I think like one of the jokes that I say, like as I got older, I was like, man, the only reason I'm funny is because I was an ugly kid. I was just like an ugly, awkward kid, and I was like, the only thing I had at my disposal was like
your humor.
Yeah, was self burns, and then like you kind of like arch out of that, and you're just like, oh, well, at least I'm funny now, you know?
Right. Honestly,
I make myself laugh, so I think that's all that matters.
I agree. Yeah. That's the best reward for like kind of feeling out of place when I was younger, you know? So,
definitely.
Okay. And so, yeah, I guess like with, you know, being extroverted and like having a lot of friends, do you feel like you've ever burned yourself out? Because I feel like I've been doing that lately.
I think like it depends on like, what's your division of time, right? Like for me, it's like I get burnt out only in the terms of like I feel really bad if there are people that I can't hang out with, and like they actively reach out to you. They're like, bro, man, when are you gonna hang out again? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm like kind of busy, and you know, like,
right.
And you know, they're equally busy, but it almost feels like they want to put more into this
than
like
you do. Then you are able.
Yeah,
yes.
Like, it's not that I don't want to. It's like I just like don't feel like I have the time right now, especially as a student. You know, like
right.
like most of my time I think is spent like, you know, either like at the hospital or like in the library or
right.
at Awesome Coffee, 6th Street, Koreatown.
Yes, shout out to George.
Shout out to George, my man. But I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's like I just feel like an immense sense of guilt when I'm like unable to do that.
Yeah. And so how do you cope with the guilt?
I don't. I just distract myself. Like it's because it's like, oh, I can't do it. And oftentimes I think like I'll overstretch myself. So it's like I have a hard time saying no to like a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I just, you know, I end up just like going home and then at the end of the day where I'm just like, oh, today was kind of tiring. Maybe next week I'll keep my schedule free and like not do it.
Right.
And so it's like now you're setting boundaries for yourself. I don't know. It's something that I think we're all still working on, right?
Yeah, because I mean,
you clearly have been talking about it a lot. It was just like you were turning this new page.
Yeah, I think it's like the worst because right, I will go out with the intention of meeting people, and I will fulfill that goal.
You do?
Yeah, I like love going out and meeting new people.
Like going out as in like going out? Like,
oh, no. I just mean like...
You're like at Terracotta, you're like, who can I meet today?
No, absolutely not. Not at the club. Not at Terracotta. Absolutely not. But like birthday parties or like housewarmings, you know, something a little bit more wholesome than a nightclub. And so I will kind of like, oh, this is... Again, it's that mentality of like, oh, this is my chance to network. This is my chance to meet a new person. And so... I'm like, so that's my goal and I will fulfill my goal. Sure. But I never have time to incorporate them into my life.
I think that's where we're different.
Yeah.
Oh, I just like, I've tapered off. I'm just like, I'm cool with what I'm cool now. You know, I don't feel the need to like really continuously expand that circle when my bandwidth is already like.
He's grown.
Am I though?
He's 27 now.
I know. I'm just different, you know. Wait till you hit my age, and then you'll really see the light.
To be honest, I think I will because I think it's like slowly starting because I started to realize that like because I was spending time, like let's say a first second hangout with new people.
Sure.
I was not spending time with like friends I've had for years. You know, like they kind of took the back burner. Because I simply did not have enough time.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think coming back from Korea, schedule is like cleared. I'm like able to kind of like reset. Oh my God, this sounds bad. But like, yeah, all my friends are ranked. Oh. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But am I kidding? Like, it's partially true, right? Like, I have friends that like I want to sustain the relationships with on a more consistent basis versus some people I only need to see twice a year.
Sure.
You know, and so
I think that's totally reasonable. I think like you're just saying what everyone's
heart though.
It's to say ranking your friends is a little brutal, but you know, it's like yeah, your friend 58, live with it.
Oh God, yeah.
That friend's like your friend 3.
Oh, that's the worst when there's a mismatch.
Oh,
you know, where
you guys like, actively talk about you're just
like our rankings. Yeah, exactly.
That's an awkward conversation to have. If that
no, never. No, never. I've just tried to. I honestly, I just don't deal with it either.
Yeah,
I'm too busy to deal with it. So yeah.
I think like on this, like I hope it's also not coming off as like pompous and or like you know like it's like but I think like this is just sort of like the way things stockpile onto themselves. I'm a big like Malcolm Gladwell dude, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Big tipping point kind of guy.
Oh, got it.
You know you know which bucket we fall in? Connectors. I think that's actually something that like I think we're both really good at. Is like by virtue of like what you were saying earlier about like connecting groups and like your anxiety about it. It was like just connecting people that wouldn't otherwise have connected in the wild.
In the wild, yes. At wild. Terracotta.
Well, not. Why is everything got to be at Terracotta? But like, yeah, I think that's something that yields like a lot of even collaboration, new friends. Like there's nothing more satisfying for me than when like two of my friends like that had not known each other meet and then become friends and then hang out independently of me.
Oh,
like that's such a beautiful feeling. You know what I mean?
You see, I think a lot of people would feel left out or FOMO if two of my friends got closer than I was to them.
Well,
you know what I mean? I'm like, okay.
I have a few friends that I'm thinking about that are like back in the Bay, so maybe it's by circumstance. But like I'm just happy when like people, you're able to like facilitate or expedite someone else's like social happiness.
Oh, like, that's cute. I take back what I said. Yeah, that is very cute. But yes.
Well, I just think like it's like nice. Like
no, it is when like your friends actually like get along.
Yeah,
and it's like sure.
And it's not always gonna happen.
Right, right. I think like I've accepted like my friends have different values than me. They have different ways that they like to interact with people, and so
express themselves.
Yeah. Like not everyone is toxically extroverted. You know.
God.
Yeah.
We gotta work on this.
No,
you need to go to like therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy.
But one thing that I did, speaking of, is I intentionally forced myself to spend time with myself.
Oh, I do recall you saying, how's that been going?
Honestly, great. Now I just go home and like am on my phone, which is probably not the best.
Excellent. No,
but
it's called decompression.
Yeah. I think I've been needing that, because I think oftentimes when I do spend time with myself, it's like I'm out doing something, and so there's always a distraction. But like purposefully staying home and like telling myself like, oh, this is rest, and I need to enjoy the rest rather than be stressed out by resting, has been good for me.
I feel like that's contradicting of itself to like, I need to rest to feel rested, like to focus all that bandwidth. Like, but no, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think rest can be stress inducing.
Are you a yoga gal?
Oh, I love yoga. Yeah. Me and your mom.
That's true. For those of you who don't know, my mom did yoga for 20 years straight. She didn't miss a session weekly for 20 years. She
did 10,000 hours plus. And so, yes, I am a yoga gal.
Yeah. So you're decompressing.
Yeah.
You're finding time to like.
Yeah.
Wind down.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna start paying $200 whatever a month.
Are you really?
For a new yoga studio. Yeah, that's how much yoga is. Yoga is so expensive.
You can't just do that with like YouTube at home. Like,
do you think I can do that with YouTube? The punigi is different.
Oh, this is the new segment.
Vibes.
This is the new segment called Colin Learns a New Korean Word. I've learned 2 today actually.
Oh.
One was the food that I ate last night over at Hungary.
Hungary, kalguksu, and posam. Yeah, posam, which is like a boiled pork dish with a bunch of pickled stuff. And then punigi, because I've been saying that because I learned that recently too.
Punigi?
That's like kind of like the vibe. It's like the energy of the environment.
I'll start incorporating that.
Puniki.
Or like, what's the puniki of this place?
Yeah. You can totally ask that.
Okay, mad vibes.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. I understand.
Okay, great.
Yeah, watch out, people.
Yes.
Watch out, people. Yes. I'm just gonna start whipping out Korean everywhere I go.
Amazing.
West LA. What's the puniki of this place? What?
Honestly, yeah. You need to educate people on the West Side.
Listen, I'm your ambassador right here.
Oh God.
I'm your DTLA ambassador.
Oh God. This is gonna be a dimensional segment, real quick.
Oh.
But
favorite.
I will include the screenshots on the screen, so if you guys want to take a peek.
I'll send you mine too.
So on dimensional, there is a section that says there are obstacles to happiness, and so Colin. Number 1, not learning to enjoy their own company.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Oh, Hondo P.
Okay.
You know when I first opened this, how attacked I felt?
Oh.
I was just like, get out of my head.
Oh, yeah, because guess what my first one is?
Was it not learning to enjoy your own company?
No, lacking self-awareness.
Oh.
And so that's where my nunchi, you know what I mean?
Confirmation bias.
Yeah, no, it really confirmed it. And then, okay.
We going to number 2?
Yeah, number 2, yours is over scrutinizing everything. Is that accurate?
I don't necessarily think so.
Okay.
I think like I'm actually like pretty chill about things.
I think so too.
Unless it's in like the interface of my career, and then I will over scrutinize myself over everything.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. But that.
Oh, like today's example of your Grand Slam at the at the very professional conference.
Yeah, we're at a conference, and I'm like, I'm going into. So those of you who don't know, like every week there's like a weekly conference for like, I don't know, for my case, like emergency medicine, where everyone gets into an auditorium, people are giving their presentations, and it's like goes for 5 hours. And so like after the first hour or two, like there's a little break, and this is my first like in-person conference of this like rotation.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, okay, 10-minute break, go get a breakfast or something. So I'm literally like going to the cafeteria, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll have like the chef make me like a little like omelet or something. I come back with like an entire like Denny's Grand Slam, like sausage, egg, everything on a plate, like capped up. And the next talk has started, and I'm just filled with immediate regret, because I'm like, I'm literally just about to, did I just bring this to like stuff my face? Like, why did I not bring
right in front of all these medical professionals in suits?
Yeah, who are evaluating you at all times? Like, you know, like, am I just gonna get like a double fork and just like start scarfing?
Right.
I just did not eat the thing for the next like few hours. It's just under my seat.
Right. But hey, it probably helped. It probably helped your career a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. Like they were like, oh, this guy has Nunchi.
Over scrutinize.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's your second, and then
number 2?
My number 2, an addiction to thrill seeking that makes day to day feel boring.
I could see that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have a schedule because every single day is different, because I like it that way. I love things like just like, I'm like, oh, I feel like going to the gym now. I'm going to go to the gym now.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Like that.
But I think it can get bad in that
you're a little too loose in terms of like the time that might be wasted from not having the rigidity.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's a part of the reason why I want to sign up for a yoga studio, is so I can do like an 8 a.m. class.
Oh, so it's a routine.
Yeah.
Don't sleep in. Why? The first time you sleep in, you break that cycle, and it's just donezo. You just feel like you want to sleep in.
Me today.
You go, oh, no.
I slept in today.
Oh,
yeah. And then I started getting stressed out because I was like, oh, there aren't enough hours in the day because I didn't wake up early enough.
Oh, here we are. Mm-hmm. Here we are.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, very relevant. This is Colin's. A compulsive need for everyone to like them.
I think like that used to be the case. I think like...
Used to.
I don't think that's necessarily the case anymore. I think like for the most part, I'm like, I would like it if people liked me.
It's nice.
It's nice. But at this point, it's like, but all this to say is like, I hope people see like good qualities in me. And I hope people don't feel like I am like a poor reflection of character. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I guess like that's what I mean. Like but I'm never like, oh my God, like, why is this person like not, you know, like smiling at me or something? Unless I'm again being evaluated in a professional setting, and then
everything comes out in the professional setting.
I think all my like little my social anxieties come out of professional setting. Which, like, by the way, it's like something I say is like, I tell people I've always been like a terribly socially anxious person, and people are never like, yeah, oh, I see that. People are like, what do you mean? Like, you are like very much so like you are very social and you are easy to get along with in a room and stuff like that. But I'm like, that's because like there were times like, especially in new steps of my like, in new stages of my life where I'm just like meeting new people. I'm just like, I have to like try and be the best version of myself at all times.
Yes.
So I guess like that might like lead to like compulsive like need for everyone to like me.
Yeah.
But again, like I think as you grow comfortable like in a stage of life, you're just like, I'm good with where I'm at.
Yes.
So I would say that used to be true. It might like in certain settings still be true now, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Okay, yeah. Well, we share that. We share this.
You know what? Actually, it might still be a thing. I came into this podcast today, and I was like, damn, I hope people like me.
Yeah, I hope they like you too, because I feel like the expectations I have for myself
Yeah.
I project that onto other people as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So if I disappoint on this podcast, I also
then you are on my bad side. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. No, am I kidding? Maybe a little bit. But yes, I also have.
I'm enjoying this segment.
A compulsive need for people to like me. But I think, like you, it's become a little bit less of like a forefront issue. I think it's probably looming in the back, but I think I have done a good job of like trying to focus my energy on like what I think of myself rather than what other people think of me.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah. I think ultimately like that is a very tough thing because like most people in our stage of life are extremely, and I'll say this for myself, extremely self-critical. So if you are that self-critical of yourself and you are just like, the goal for other people to like me is for me to like myself first, I think that is a steep obstacle to climb.
Yes, I'm working on it.
We're all working on it.
We're all working on it. All growth.
It's a we thing,
Yeah.
99th percentile.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Same people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The NBA of... I don't know. Anyways.
We're workshopping it. We're workshopping it. Come back next episode. She'll be ready.
Yes, exactly. Okay, yay! Well, thank you so much. Because I think we're very similar, and so I feel very validated whenever we hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think like
validate me right now.
You're a good friend. you good person.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's it. You could stop there.
Okay.
I know there's more, but yeah.
Great job. Great job today. Good job to you. Great job to you. Go pod.
Yes, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. It's been a minute since I asked you to join.
Yeah, we just haven't come up with any topics.
Yeah, but
this is honestly fun.
Yeah. Well, you guys can follow BULGOGI Pod on all of our social channels. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever else you want to listen on, we are on. And be sure to join us next week for my solo episode.
Love it.
Yes. Okay, bye.